This is a new show here from Litterbox Scoop. This is Behind the Scoop here. I am your host, Mr. Awesome One. You may know me such characters as Kitty Ganja, Brother Averill, uh, Coach Buck, Parker Phoenix, and much more. And this pretty nice new show that I'm wanting to premiere here. Premise for anyone who is interested in knowing, this is behind the scenes of CAW. If no one's familiar with CAW, it is Create a Wrestler. CAW wrestling is something that a lot of us, especially in the community, we do for fun. We do it just in entertainment. We make interesting characters and just do amazing things. Just for the fun of it and such. And today with me, I got a nice, fun guest with me. Not only has he been in CAW wrestling for a long time, he has also done real, and I mean real professional wrestling and outside of video games. I'd like to bring in my guest, K-Jizzle, KG.
Hello.
Nice to finally get you on here and such. Been
About
about time, yeah. And yeah, we should have. I think a lot of people are probably excited to hear from you and such. And one of the most amazing things we've heard about you is, you're you not only saying it. Sorry if I'm a little speechless here, but not only have you been in CAW wrestling for over 11 years now, you've been in professional wrestling for about 10, I believe.
eight and a half.
Oh, eight and a half. But hey, not bad. Close to a decade.
hmm
So from that, what has really taught what had brought you into wrestling? Was it the video games or was it real wrestling that brought you into one of
It,
those?
it was really when I was younger. So I had this friend named Kyle growing up, and he's actually the one who introduced me to wrestling. I had went and I spent the night at his house. I remember this like it was yesterday. Uh, I was spending the night at his house. He went in his room to go to bed, and I'm sleeping on the floor in the living room. He had put on the 1990 Royal Rumble on a cassette tape,
Hmm.
and I sat there and I watched it. And at, prior to this point, I hadn't really known much about wrestling. I never watched it, never really played any of the games, never really had any of the toys. Uh, I just fell in love with it there. From there, this was in like God, early 2006.
Oh wow,
I had heard of
that's
wrestling, but never really,
never really got into it and such. So
mhm.
definitely watching it and such from the start there. What really got you though, getting into the ring from the start?
What got me into doing it?
Yeah, what got you into the ring? Like you first saw
Okay.
it. Was it one of those you wanted to also do that,
It was one of
or
those things that I thought, oh, I can do this. When I turned 13, I started training professionally. Uh, my buddy's dad had a ring in his backyard, and just you know, just fooling around in there, not really knowing what we were doing. We were just goofing around, trying to imitate what we saw on TV. You know how they say, "Oh, don't do what you see on TV,"
oh, don't try
but
this at home. Exactly.
we were doing it anyway.
Every kid who saw wrestling saw that and were like, nope, and did
And
exactly
about
what they said on TV.
and about 3 years later, I actually got trained professionally. I started training at NYWC, which is called New York Wrestling Connection. Uh, Trained there for about 5 years, and that's where, or more like 3.5. But that's where really my real life wrestling career started.
Nice. Any notable opponents and matches that you had so far in your career?
There were a couple names, but they were just matches to get the guy over. I've had matches with Just Incredible. I've had matches with the Boogeyman. Uh, I've worked with Chris Masters before, but it wasn't in the ring. I just kind of met him behind the scenes. Um,
Oh, nice.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
I've heard of other things. I've heard you talk about match with Jim Neidhart, match with Boogeyman.
yeah. We're not going to get into the Jim Neidhart story. That
Oh
was
yeah,
not good.
oh yeah. I've heard that story from you, and I've heard you weren't a big fan of that man.
He was not a fan of me either, so
Oh, true. He thought you was some rookie and went hardcore Holly on you,
yeah, or tried to.
or tried to exactly. That's pretty amazing though from that. And has any of what you've done in real life inspired characters, storylines, and such in your CAW career?
I can tell you my character Dave is basically molded after me. It's I try not to make them like copy and paste of myself. Dave or all of my characters are a variation of me just turned up. You know what I mean?
Oh, true.
Just
I can get I can understand with that. And I mean, you have so many characters that you've used. You've had Jacob Justice. You're using Garrett Ball. You've had Valerie Ball. Dave Ball is a pretty popular one, and as of most recently, your Father Von Winkle character is pretty has gotten over with a lot of companies.
yeah. Believe it or not, Father Von Winkle was just a joke. I didn't expect it to go over.
Oh yeah, I mean that's exactly like most of us usually start out that way. I mean, hey, look at most of the jokes in wrestling ended up being successful.
Yeah.
But that's
Whoa.
pretty
Oh,
amazing.
hello.
Yep.
I didn't
But
notice
yeah,
you were back there. Okay.
but out of all those characters though, what have been some characters though that have been, I mean, the most fun for you to work with?
Oh, God. I'd have to say the character I've had most fun with, I'd have to say is Father Von Winkle, or yeah, Father Von Winkle.
Oh yeah, I mean, any
It's
reason for that? I mean,
it's just the persona I have put behind him is just so entertaining to do, and it, if some may know this, some may not. So let me explain what kinesiology means to people. If you know what Scientology is, it's just a rough variant of that, or we jokingly say it's a variation of Scientology.
oh yeah, that's a pretty good joke there. I mean, that kind of reminiscent to like Coil of April or some of the other classic leagues we've had. Not leagues, factions we've had in the past. But yours
I'm,
is sort of
I'm,
a one man faction.
yeah, I've tried to have people, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. You want to be the head cat. You're not. I heard you're not neutered, so of course you want to be the dominant one. Well, I mean, your character's not neutered.
Yeah, no. We've been
So
talking for years about having a match. Oh, loser gets neutered. Oh, fun.
oh yeah, we've been talking about that for years. One day that will happen. Kitty Ganja, Father Von Winkle, loser gets neutered. Hopefully that's a WrestleMania match.
Oh, God.
Hey, I paid money to see it.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's an amazing career from that. But I mean, out of your many matches that you had, I mean, who do you think probably been the most difficult? Who's probably been the best and worst that you've worked with when it comes to CAW people, companies, and such? What do you think are some of your favorites?
Okay. Whew. Worked with a lot of people. That's hard to say. Uh,
Oh yeah, I heard your resume is big. Let's actually talk about that first. I mean, I believe we originally met after you were in BTB. Now, before
Mm-hmm.
BTB, how many companies were you in before that?
Two, believe it or
Two.
not.
Oh
I
wow,
was
so
doing
you're just the
I was
start of
doing
it.
competitive. I was doing competitive with my buddy Doug, who I know in real life, and we started a little competitive thing, and we got a bunch of people together, and it was a whole big thing. It was just a bunch of friends just goofing around, trying to have a good time. When I seriously got into CAW, I joined a league called NCW. If you know, you know. Uh, there I was. All right, this plagued me for the first half of my career. I could not find who I was, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh
I
yeah, I
couldn't
think that's
find me
the
as a character.
that's the first year. I think difficulty for any wrestler in general too is finding your who makes you who you.
Trying to find your name, trying to find your niche or who you are as a character. When I left NCW, I had a really rough idea on who I was. It was this Ryan McCartney character. Such a stupid name. It was a dumb looking character. The character looked like the lead singer of Skillet. But and I knew what I wanted to be, but I couldn't produce it, if you know what I mean.
Right, you had the character, but you couldn't. The pieces were there, but they just couldn't fit right.
I just couldn't put it together.
Exactly.
Every time I tried to make characters, they came out like shit. Even to this day, I cannot make a male character look decent to save my life.
Oh, I understand.
It's odd. I'm so much better at making female characters than males.
Oh yeah, especially with this year's game, it seemed like it made it more easier for females
Oh, it's
instead of
made it a
males.
whole lot easier.
But yep, after Ryan McCartney, or McCarthy or whatever. I
Ryan
mean,
McCartney.
yeah.
Yeah.
So after him, I think you pretty much then you transition to other characters and such. I mean, when were you able to find your true character in CAW?
After McCartney, I started with a character named Jake Alpha. It was this scrawny little emo kid I came up with, or he was based off my buddy Jake. He had this long black hair. He had black mascara on. He covered in tattoos and shit. He was this scrawny little goth kid. I used him for a while. Believe it or not, Jake Alpha is the character that evolved into Dave Ball.
Oh, nice! Wow, that's the precursor to a legend known as Dave Ball.
Yeah, so Dave went from a scrawny emo kid to yeah.
Wow, that's pretty.
We're not going to get into the whole lore of the character because then we'll be here for hours.
Oh, exactly. And this is probably a 30-minute stream at the moment.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Hey, maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll get the Jacob Justice anthology. Well, not Jake.
Oh,
Well, not
God.
only that, and the Dave Ball anthology. That's
Oh,
probably
we're going to get
about
into
as.
all the characters.
Oh yeah, that's probably about as long as the Brother Averill lore.
Yeah.
That will be coming up in a future episode, there, folks, as well. So after Jake Alpha.
Came Dave. And again, he was more of a character that I was trying to experiment with a character wearing a mask. I've always liked masked wrestling. I've always liked lucha libre. I could never find a mask that I liked, so I ended up using the Sin Cara mask for 4 or 5 years.
I mean, hey, you're a better performer than he was.
And then Sin Cara got released from the company, and now I can't use the mask because it's not in the game.
Yeah, sadly not. Now you had to involve the mask.
Now I just wear a hockey mask.
Yep. Hey, any math will work. That worked for Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from Dave Ball though, you end up growing some other characters. I believe Jacob Justice was a very strong one. I believe you probably end up creating after Dave.
Mm-hmm. Jacob came after Dave. Uh, Jacob was a thing where when I joined TLW in 2015, I didn't want to bring McCartney there, and I didn't want to bring Dave there. I just wanted a separate character just for that league. This was back when Sport was still running the league. Uh, believe it or not, I didn't ask to join. I got referenced.
Oh yeah, I
Some may
remember.
remember Dart God because he was the one who referenced me.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
get into a
believe.
party. Yeah,
Oh, what are you saying? My bad.
I get into a party with Sport and Shenanigans. There's a couple of other people in the party. I forget exactly who was in there. I get in there and I expressed my interest of joining. And Sport was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure." But this was a show night, so they were doing a show. I had to wait till after the show to get a tryout. I'm like, oh, okay, this shouldn't be a problem. No, it was a big problem. So I got my ass whipped, my my tryout. At this time, I couldn't play competitive to save my life. So I have my tryout, and my tryout's against Shenanigans. I get in the match, and I get my ass handed to me 3 ways to Sunday. And Sport accepts me into the league anyway. I'm like, okay, that was easy enough, I guess. Let's just say that shitty tryout turned into a 7-year career in CAW, or a 7-year career in doing competitive.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially for TLW, I mean, you end up becoming a not only wrestling in TLW, you end up getting ownership of TLW,
Oh
and I
yeah,
mean, you have recently resurrected that back from the dead.
yeah. Now it's an EFED.
Oh yeah, like everything else in CAW,
TL,
sadly.
TLW streams every Monday night on the Kitty Von Winkle TLW Twitch channel. If
Oh yeah.
anyone is interested in seeing the product.
Oh yep, and he's also a reference channel, I believe, on Litterbox Scoop. So check him out. Check out let's see, I'm trying to think of other ones. TCW with Nathan Black. You can check out LPW with Sports Superstar, and definitely have some more partnerships in the future. We hope.
Hopefully. So I was using default characters the first half of being in TLW, and Sport came up to me and he was like, "Dude, you need to make a character. You can't keep using defaults." I'm like, shit. But he was like, "Make something yourself. Don't grab something off CC." I'm like, "Fuck."
Bit compromised.
Shit, my plan was compromised.
So then, yeah,
So
you definitely.
I end up having a friend make me an attire for this character, and I
Oh
had
man.
it named fucking what was it? Fucking I called him Muscle Man Hughes at first.
Well,
I couldn't think of a name, so I just got a random name generator, and I randomly generated Jacob Justice. So I guess it just stuck.
I mean that's a pretty good name though for for from a from a name generator and such. So I mean, hey, that was a successful career right there. I mean, um, Jacob Justice has some memorable moments. I mean, my memorable moment is the fact that I couldn't kick your ass but once with Brother Averill. That
One
will
time
still
you
be,
couldn't be.
yeah. All this time you were my kryptonite, apparently.
But that was an EFED.
Oh yeah, that was definitely classic EFED though, but those were some good moments there, especially in that area and such. And so I mean, a lot of your CAW wrestling and such. Did that eventually? Did that bring you any inspiration though? Back in into the ring for you in real life?
Those characters,
Oh yeah.
I got my attire idea from Dave. Is for a long time I was wearing those Rey Mysterio pants in CAW, and I ended up getting pants made with lightning bolts going down the side of them, and it was so stupid. But God Almighty,
I mean, shit, that would be something I would want to see. That would look great.
yeah.
But I mean, I heard some news from you though about your wrestling career. I believe you had some recent health conditions and such come up to sort of prevent you from wrestling in ring now.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, an abnormal heartbeat has like totally just stopped that.
Oh
Uh,
man. Any ideas of have you tried to look into elsewhere in wrestling, booking,
it's
management?
abnormal heartbeat. I have high blood pressure and all this other shit.
True, I can understand that. I got that high blood pressure. I still worry about that. The heartbeat situation, especially for wrestling. I mean, a good knife edge chop could easily put your heart out.
Hmm.
But damn. So I guess that. But any future plans for any involvement still in the wrestling part though there, or most of your career now is focused on CAW.
I want to try and get TLW as a real thing. Uh, I want to get into the promoter side of it. I want to run a promotion. I want to do all that. So I'm trying to get all that situated and get TLW like actually going as a real thing.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing to see
I
TLW
I
from. Oh, you're saying?
I have the True Legends Wrestling name trademarked, so it'll be a lot easier to use that.
Oh yeah, that especially True Legends Wrestling. I mean, what? Who wouldn't want to join something like that? I mean, I mean, hey, I'm only saying that because I don't want to take any credit, but I threw my that name in some hats there.
Oh no.
But no, I don't ever try to take credit. I just like to throw like give people
So come on,
ideas.
awesome. Fucking don't try and put yourself over.
Nah, definitely not. Definitely not. But
So, oh god, he's tooting his own horn now.
no, I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to. I do not want to.
I don't mean to toot my own horn.
But damn, but I mean that's a great to hear and such, and for especially real life. But what's kind of next for you for CAW?
I'm retiring at the end of the year totally, so uh like at least so in ring wise. Um I've been doing CAW for 11 years and I have done everything I've wanted to do, so I think it's time for me to, hang it up. I've been doing this forever. Pass the torch on to the next generation of talent who are doing this. Uh, I'm not as good as I once was, and it's very apparent. So, uh, let those new kids coming in have the spotlight or take the reins from the generation before them. But, today's generation of CAW isn't what I thought it was going to be. Um, Nowadays, CAW is full of kids who think they can have everything handed to them. But when I started, you had to work for title shots. You even had to work to be on shows.
Exactly, and that's kind of a great thing to lead off of, and especially from your experience in CAW. I mean, for a great company, what do you see? What do you see when it comes to CAW wrestling? What do you think could be the improvements done to CAW in order for it to strive?
Communication between talent and management, and really enforcing being active. Really enforcing having the guys promo and do this shit and put it out on Twitter, type it out, do voice promos on shows, just put forward that extra effort. It helps leagues progress. It helps leagues move forward. I have always been a big fan of if you don't put in the work, you don't get rewarded. And if you're just going to sit around and be a mute, you're not going to get anywhere.
Well said.
Coming from me, this is saying a lot, but people wonder why I've been so successful in the places I've been is because I put forward that extra effort. I've held 14 world titles between 3 characters.
Oh yeah, your legacy across like multiple companies, such even in CAW, even in the mix of eFed and competitive, have been great and such. I mean, there's no doubt of saying that you, of course, were a legend. We're a legend in CAW, and still are.
Yeah, well, some consider it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. There's many different groups of people in CAW, and I mean, we're just a sort of group of people that we're open to anybody. We don't tend to judge, and we don't take it as seriously as other people do. We do like some seriousness and competition and stories, but at the end of the day, this is a video game. Win or lose. I mean,
Win or lose, it's just for fun, really.
it's just for fun, exactly.
It's nothing serious. Yes, we try to take it seriously while we're doing the shows, but at the end of the day, it's just a game. It's nothing outrageous.
Yeah, it's a game. It's what wrestling is, entertainment. I mean, people forget about that. People look at it as a sport sometimes and forget that it's sports entertainment. It's not just a reason for Vince to not pay taxes for wrestling.
Yeah, it's. I hate to use the word because I'm a performer myself, but come on, guys, wrestling is fake. It's not real.
It's real to me,
I hate to say
damn
that
it.
being a wrestler myself.
But hey, I mean, at the end of the day, we gotta realize, yeah, we know it's fake. We know it's all performed, but at the same time, it's
It's
performed
all
by
smoke and
professional,
mirrors.
smoke and mirrors. But at the same time, these people, I mean, are you gotta be professional about it. I mean, you've probably had plenty of injuries and such throughout your real career.
Oh yeah, I've dislocated my right shoulder 3 times. I've had several concussions. Uh, Tore my quadricep muscle in my left leg. Uh,
And I mean, yeah, you can definitely tell the folks here, like, yeah, this wrestling is nothing to play with, especially when you're in the ring, especially
Broke my
telling,
foot.
oh yeah, oh yeah, especially when you're a fan and you probably step in that ring, you probably risking getting beat up by you.
No, well, you jump the rail, you're considered fair game. So
Exactly, like they all should be in wrestling. But damn, that was I think we had a good chat here. But I mean, before we head off, I mean, anything you want to say to viewers here?
well, it's just thanks for the support for those who are in it and understand what we're trying to do. It's not real life, guys. Like I said before, it's a game. I don't take this seriously. I try not to be serious with it, but sometimes, when you're in character, it gets in the way. Uh, just have fun with it. enjoy it while it's around because I doubt CAW is going to be around for a long time. There's not a lot of guys nowadays that are willing to do competitive, and I know there's a lot of people who want to do it still. Just do EFED. Get into EFED because that seems to be the new thing nowadays. But yeah, that's really it. I don't really have anything else to say.
Awesome. I thank you for your appearance on especially our first episode Behind the Scoop. This has been my guest KG, and this has been the Behind the Scoop. We hope to see you for another episode in the future.